Welcome to the SmileLine podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to give real information from doctors and patients about our SmileLine prosthetic and the sequence of appointments. For more information, check out our website or give our office a call. Hope you enjoy today's episode. All right, guys, welcome back to the SmileLine podcast. It is December 19th. I'm here with our patient, Miss Sara. We're in the Christmas spirit, feeling pretty good. I got the Christmas shirt on today. We got these gifts at the office. But Sara just had her 90-day appointment, meaning that we delivered her final teeth 3 months ago. And she came back in, we checked all the implants, did a cleaning, and kind of just wanted to get you on here and talk about your story, Sara. So, yeah. Who are you? Where are you from?
My name is Sara Springer Reed. I'm from Columbia, Missouri. I grew up there. And I'm married and I have 2 kids, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. And I make this drive down here because you guys were the best that I found through the research I did.
Awesome. Yeah, what kind of research did you do? Did you go any consults any other places?
I did. I went to Cherry Hill Dental, and I got a consultation, and they were nice. They were knowledgeable, but the price tag kind of blew me out of the water. I shied away after that. Then I went to a local dentist who also did implants, single implants, and I also got a consultation and x-rays done, and again, was blown away by the price tag, so I shied away. I was like, I'll just live with the teeth I have, which was very few in the back, I'll just make do. But then it seemed like things were crumbling, and my parents were like, you need to get this done. While you're between jobs, and you can relax and rest, you really need to, look around, do some research, get this done. Let's get it going. So that's when I called you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How was that consultation process? How was the guy that did the consult? Was he
really good? Yeah. Dad and I came down. We met with Chris, and he was very knowledgeable in what we needed to do. As far as doing single, I was only looking into single implants. So you kind of broaden my horizon with the whole full implant, just the implants, but with like the full set instead of individual implants. I didn't really know that was an option. And so you explained everything real well. You explained, how light it was, how durable they are, and we were impressed, and then instead of, doing one implant at a time, then my other teeth could go bad around that one implant that we paid all the money for. So in the end, we decided to go with what you suggested, and it's been life-changing.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and I kind of wanted to address that because we see that a lot with patients that come in, and they've been to other places, and Dr. Sam talks about this a lot. When he'll take it back. He's like, when I was in dental school, they taught you to treat teeth individually. If you're missing a tooth, what can I do to replace it? If one tooth is bad, what can I do to replace it? Through his experience, training, and doing so many cases, he now looks at a mouth as, an individual unit, and not like, hey, how can I replace this one tooth? It's like, what do I need to do to make this better? And we consistently see patients that, have maybe been told, I want 2 single implants back here, and I want a single implant here, and I want a crown here. And then he looks at their bite, and maybe it's their bite is way off, or he looks at their gum health, and it's pretty bad. And he's like, hey, you could stick a lot of money in here, and in 5 years, you might be back here again. Let's fix the problem. And then so we started talking about the full arch options.
Right.
Yeah, so that's pretty common, coming from getting different opinions and then coming here and us taking a look at your whole mouth. And that just comes from Dr. Sam's, extensive history of doing these full arch cases and restorative dentistry. So you did the consultation, and you were like, I think I'm going to try these guys.
Yep.
Let's try it.
Yeah, we had to have a little thought process, a little powwow, but we really thought about it. And getting the whole mouth done, it was... if you're going to spend that type of money, you want it good.
Absolutely.
You want it perfect. And to have a full mouth, literally life-changing. it's the difference is just crazy.
Yeah, I went back and looked at your photos this morning, and I love doing this. And you can look at your intake photos, and I can see how you're smiling. And you even wrote on your form, yeah, you're a cheesy person. You love to smile.
Yeah,
like
I smile.
And in your intake photos, like you smiled, and you had a good smile. In your delivery photos, it was a different smile.
Yeah, it was hey girl, look at this queen. Like it wasn't even my husband has said that. He was like, I didn't really look at your teeth or your smile any other way, but it was beautiful until you had this done. And what a difference.
I know. You can see your happiness in your photo and just the way you're smiling. Like, you can just see it. And it makes me smile. I look at them like,
yeah.
She loves them.
I do love them. I do love them.
And they look really good.
Thank you.
They do look really good.
Thank you.
Okay. So surgery. You had Dr. Maddie as your surgeon, right?
I did have
How
Dr.
was the
Maddie.
surgery process?
The surgery process was good. There were lots of details to be included and details to go over. Lots of instructions. I liked how you guys kept up with me, pre-surgery. Have you done this? Have you done that? Sheila is great. Sheila is so good. But I love how you guys kept me up to loop or up to everything with pre-instructions, making sure I'd gotten the prescriptions I needed and everything else. Surgery was a little rough. Mm-hmm. It was a little rough. But I got through it. It's something you get through. Now, the week after surgery was real rough. Mm-hmm. Because I'm one of those people that, anything that goes into my body, I swell, I puff up. So I had, 2 black eyes, I had chipmunk cheeks, and it seemed to get worse, Yep. To the point where I was like, oh my God. So my husband called, Dr. Sam called us right back. He was like, this happens to 20% of people who, I was one of the lucky 20. But it did go down. And it did get better. And Dr. Sam, he put, a lot of peace back into us that, this is just part of the thing. You've had a lot of facial trauma. I had all my teeth pulled. Yeah. All of them.
You had quite a few pulled
all
that
of
day.
them. Yeah. So, that's going to happen. I'll tell you that my husband went to Walmart and got this cold wrap for my face. It's supposed to be for arms or legs or something. And it was this cold compress, and that was my best friend, and salt water.
Salt water.
Not even the Advil or the other drugs were as good as that salt water and that cold compress.
That's a good, it's a good advice for patients going through it. And I try to tell patients, because surgery does vary quite a bit. There's been people that don't, a lot of it has to do with how many teeth were taken out. The less trauma, the better, of course.
Right.
But some people don't swell, some people don't bruise, other people swell pretty bad and bruise pretty bad. And it can look like you got in a bar fight and got your butt whooped. That week after.
A beat up chipmunk. I was a beat up chipmunk, but
it does go down, it goes away. From what I've seen, the swell or the bruising lasts the longest. And that's, even at the point where hey, I'm feeling fine, but I still got the bruises and I don't like the look of it.
Right.
And that can last, up to 10, 14 days.
Right.
So you had some, your surgery, on our end from a surgical standpoint went great. Mm-hmm. You had the symptoms of the bruising, the swelling, of course. And then, so how was your diet that first week?
Diet was a lot of milkshakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of vanilla milkshakes, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. I wasn't really hungry, because you're just kind of afraid to put anything in your mouth because you just don't know what's going to happen. You feel raw. So, very soft foods, but the benefit was all the, ice cream and milkshakes I had.
Absolutely. That's a good one. It's like, what can I eat? Milkshake, ice cream, yeah.
Well, it made me feel better. It was a win-win. It was something I was able to eat, but it was also like, ooh, I get a vanilla shake,
Yeah.
I love vanilla shake.
And the other thing is, it is, It is critical that patients eat soft food first. Those implants in your jaw are the most vulnerable, the day after surgery. And patients have to remember, like, even, a couple weeks afterwards, they got to remember, like, hey, these implants are still new. They're still healing. I got to take it easy if you want them to last a long time.
Yeah, and you can tell that. You can tell how raw you are underneath.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can. As the healing process goes on, I mean, they're just now a part of me. I mean, literally, the last month and a half, I'm like, these feel like mine.
Yeah.
Finally. Because in the very beginning, you kind of feel like you're wearing George Washington's wooden teeth, but I didn't have any teeth. So my face was having to, expand for all the new teeth and everything else. It's very different, but now it's just, they belong to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they look super natural and super good.
Thank you.
But even, like, you touch back, and I tell patients this, as good as prosthetics are, you've spent your whole life in your natural teeth. That is natural to you, and we're switching that now,
Right.
and it's all changing. And there is a learning curve there. You feel different, like you don't have them anymore, and you have something different. So, there is a learning curve. It's not like a seamless, just like boom.
It's
Hey,
not.
I'm just back laced. No,
It's not.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a learning curve with everything.
Exactly.
There's a learning curve with drinking. There's a learning curve with speaking. Like, I mean, I sounded funny for probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yep.
I mean, I sounded funny. Now I sound good. I'm back to myself. But eating, there's a learning curve with, trying to keep them clean or, keeping them clean, all your little things. So there's definitely a learning curve.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, but learning curve, and it's with anything. Like, hey, you just underwent a pretty traumatic, not really traumatic, but more like life-changing thing. Like, you took something that you'd just been a part of you for, a long, long time, your whole life. I don't know, how old are you?
I'm 43.
Gotcha.
I just turned 43. I'm like, how old am I?
I kept wanting to say
40.
41. I was like, oh,
Oh, 41's good.
Okay. Yeah, so you've had these for 41 years.
Right, exactly.
And then we took them away and replaced them.
Yeah.
And there's just a learning curve.
There is.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
It is.
I want to say that, like, it is worth it. It is worth it. It's
Absolutely.
life-changing.
It is. Yeah, so how are you doing now?
Oh, I love them. I get so many compliments. I mean, even my family who's used to them now, they're just so natural looking, They're just so real looking, and I love them. I'm able to eat anything I want. I mean, for the most part, and just having teeth again, it's just really, wow. I mean, because I didn't have any back teeth. So stuff like carrots and potato chips, or if you get a chunk of, ice in your mouth, it's like, those aren't big deal anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to, I don't have to focus on sticking it to the left side or the right side. It's so great.
Yeah. Whenever you came for your intake, you were missing your back teeth, which you were, you marked on your form. You were chewing about a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. You marked both of them, and then you were like, yeah, I'm embarrassed by my smile. I want a prettier smile. So
Yeah.
did we check those 2 boxes?
Yeah,
for
you did.
Good.
You did.
Good.
You did. Because the chewing capabilities, and also just when I look at myself, it's just completely different. Because I'm a very smiley person. Like, I love to smile. I mean, what makes me smile is somebody smiling at me. So it's like, I'm always smiling. So
Yeah.
now I can have that confidence, and they just feel good.
That's awesome to hear. So, well, thank you for coming on the podcast today.
Yeah.
Last closing statements. What would you tell any patients that are thinking about having their teeth replaced? Do you have any advice for them?
I would say the cold compress from Walmart. It's long and it's blue, and you could wrap it around both cheeks so it protects your chipmunk cheeks, and you can lay, and it's so nice. And the salt water. Also the Advil and the Tylenol, and just do it. You have to work hard for things that you really want, and I mean, I had the surgery. The healing process was kind of rough in the beginning, but now there's nothing I would change about it because I'm so happy with the way I look, with the way I feel. They are life-changing.
Yeah, that's such a powerful statement. So again, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
Yeah,
you taking
thanks
the
for
time.
having me.
And happy holidays to
Yeah,
you
Merry
and your
Christmas.
10 and 12-year-old boy and girl. Hopefully they get everything they want for
Yeah,
Christmas.
I know, right? Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. All right, guys. Well, check back next week. We should have another podcast coming out, and happy holidays.